What's going on, everybody? Curtis Wilkerson with HawgSports.com coming to you live from the BOK Center here in Tulsa. Boy, does it feel a hell of a lot better to be standing up here doing this year than it did almost exactly a year ago. Arkansas 88, Oklahoma 78. The Razorbacks get a little bit of revenge here today in the Crimson and Cardinal Classic, as they like to call it now. Whew, yeah. It's kind of funny to think back about this. I actually went back and watched the video that I did from here last year. It was rough. Arkansas got exposed a little bit in that game. Eric Musselman got kicked out. I was ticked off. I was trying to talk everybody off the ledge, and it was kind of the early parts of an unraveling for the Razorbacks before they figured things out and obviously wound up having a great season anyway. It was certainly one of the low points of the year. This game today might have been the opposite. It really might have. This could have been a defining moment for this basketball team that we just saw, and I don't want to oversell it, but the gravity of the situation here, you got to be really impressed with what you saw from the Razorbacks, right? I mean, if you think about it a little bit, major adversity hits this team with Trevin Brazile going down. He's so critical to everything Arkansas is trying to do. It's one of their brothers, one of their teammates that they've gone to war with since the beginning of the summer. When you lose a guy like that, it's tough. Not only that, Arkansas is in a situation where they have a short turnaround, just a couple days to make the necessary adjustments to get ready to play a big game against a good, high major opponent. There's a lot going on there. There were a lot of reasons there for Arkansas to kind of come out and have a clunker. If they wanted to have some excuses today, they could have, but they didn't. They responded. You have to be really, really impressed by Arkansas and what Eric Musselman was able to get these guys ready to do and how they were able to play today. They played bad on Tuesday, and they really turned around and had what I thought was the best performance of the season so far against Oklahoma today. From the opening tip, I just thought Arkansas was really fired up. They were energized. They looked like a team that was ready to play. They weren't back on their heels. Remember Oklahoma, what'd they start, 10-0 in that game last season? Arkansas looked a little bit overwhelmed. You didn't see that in this game. You didn't. In fairness, the Sooners couldn't miss out of the gates. Could they? Would they hit like 11 out of their first 13 shots? I mean, they were making everything. And quite honestly, Arkansas really wasn't playing that poorly on the defensive end. They were contesting a lot of those shots. Oklahoma was just knocking them down. You have to give them credit when they do that. But this team didn't flinch. Last year, Oklahoma hit Arkansas with a couple haymakers. They fought back once. They couldn't do it a second time, and they kind of got knocked out there at the end. This time, Arkansas punched right back. They weathered that storm. They got down by as many as 9 in the first half. They weathered that storm, fought back, took a lead into halftime, and then Arkansas really got this thing under control. Within the first 5 minutes of the second half, they increased that lead double digits, and I don't think Oklahoma got any closer than 9 the rest of the way. So, the Hogs were able to coast en route to winning this game. Listen, the better team won. I don't think there's any doubt that Arkansas proved that here in this building today. Really, an impressive performance. The way Arkansas the way they handled that storm from Oklahoma in the first half, it was really a lot of Ricky Council, right? I mean, he was quiet. He was kind of making his presence felt on the defensive end of the floor early in the game. But he didn't score until about 8 minutes in when he had that ridiculous alley-oop reverse dunk that he threw down. That kind of sparked everything for him. He goes from that point to scoring 17 points in the first half, and that came in a 12-minute stretch there. So really well done by Council. He, I thought, kind of carried Arkansas through that. Nick Smith had 10 points in that first half as well. And I think you just kind of got the sense from Arkansas on this one that they had no interest in losing this game. They were going to do whatever it took to figure it out. You had some really good energy, hustle, effort plays. Man, it was a great performance by the Razorbacks. For Council, he's coming off one of his worst games. Well, definitely his worst game as a Razorback. Was he 1 of 7 from the field against Greensboro? He was held to 8 points. Just, looked like a guy that was making some adjustments with Nick coming back in the lineup. You wondered how he would respond. It was in a really good way. 26 points, maybe his best performance of the season so far. 10 of 15 from the field. He had some big moments, man. He hit that step back three, and then he comes down the next possession, gets the and one, so it's like a personal 6-0 run that put Arkansas in the lead there late in the first half. He added a little bit of insult to injury late in the game, right? Not only did he get that pass from Devo and dunk it, I think there was about a minute 45 left. You see him get that big dunk at the end of the game with just a few seconds left. I don't know, was he trying to add a little bit extra on that one? Maybe so. He said after the game that he'd heard from some of the guys last year that Oklahoma was doing a little bit of talking. Maybe that was his way of putting an exclamation point on the thing. So I thought that was interesting, but hey, he had a hell of a game. If you want to dunk one at the end, go for it. You earned it. Nick Smith, he had 21 in this game, 8 of 16 from the floor, so you shoot 50%. That's an efficient night for Nick. Only 1 of 5 from 3, but I thought he did a nice job of getting in his bag off the dribble and operating as a basket cutter. He had 2 or 3 really nice, well-timed basket cuts where he finished layups. So if the three's not falling, is he still able to get to his spots and be effective? And he was tonight. So a good job by Nick there. Terrific duo, man. Him and Ricky as a scoring combination in the backcourt. That could be a dangerous combination. Obviously, what Anthony Black brings to the table there as well. It wasn't his best game. He had 5 turnovers in this one, but he played a lot better in the second half. Had all 8 of his points in the second half. Had some big plays defensively. But that backcourt's got the potential to be really impressive. But the question was, who was going to step up in the absence of Brazil? Listen, Jordan Walsh, I thought he was terrific. Must said it was probably his best game of his young career, and I tend to agree. He had 12 points and 3 rebounds. He just played with more confidence and that energy. And when he's playing with confidence and energy, he's a guy that can be so disruptive on the defensive end. I thought he was contesting everything, getting deflections, getting out in passing lanes. He had that one, the stolen inbounds and went coast to coast and dunked it. Just his second dunk of the season. That's crazy. I think we're going to see a lot more of those. But hey, he stepped into a 3 right away early in the game and knocked it down. Whew. Man, you love to see that. Catch, shoot. That's a good-looking release from Walsh. If he's confident shooting, he can help this team from 3. He hit another really big one late in the game. I think Oklahoma's maybe feeling themselves a little bit. Had a little mini run there. You felt maybe slight momentum going back that way. I think they cut it to 9. He hit that 3, put it back to 12. And that was kind of the dagger at that point. Really good stuff from Walsh. I thought he played tough and physical inside. Arkansas is going to need him, right? And that's a big momentum boost, a big confidence boost for him. And then Mekhi Mitchell doubles down. He had such a great game on Tuesday with that big double-double with 4 blocks. He has 10 and 6 in this game. Arkansas loves to go to him early on. He was really good as a roll man again. Backing guys down and scoring on him. But what really impressed me, he had 4 assists all in the first half. An underrated passer. There's some versatility to his game. We're starting to see him get a little bit more comfortable, and that makes him a little bit more confident in doing some of these things. And I think there's more unlocked potential with Mekhi, who could be a really good piece for Arkansas. I thought he was fantastic guarding Tanner Groves. Groves killed Arkansas last year. He was really ineffective this time around. Had some foul trouble too, but I thought Mekhi did a really nice job on him. Outside of a couple times, I think he was late on a closeout one time on a 3, whatever. That stuff happens, but he made him work for everything he got, and he didn't get much. So it was a really good job by Mekhi Mitchell. And then Devo and Kamani, just the energy guys, right? The returners, the leaders, they set the tone for this basketball team. I thought they really did that in this game. Devo came in, he took a couple quick shots right away, and you're going, oh man, is he going to start launching it again? What's going on here? But I thought he really settled down, played within himself, and man, he was diving on the floor for loose balls. He had that steal on the open floor real late in the first half. Then he dove on the loose ball and got in the tie-up. And the crowd loved it, man. You were hearing the Devo chants. That had to feel great for him after some of the things that he's gone through so far this season. But that's the kind of energy he brings to the table. And then Kamani, sometimes he gets a little bit too amped up, right? But you love that about him. He gives this team an edge and a toughness and physicality. There's just something about having him on the floor. He might not be the most talented guy that Arkansas could turn to, but man, he brings so much grit to this basketball team. I thought he really did that today. You want to talk about guys who were on the floor, he was all over the thing. So, I was really impressed with how just so many different guys stepped up and rose to the occasion in this game today. Arkansas was fantastic offensively, 88 points. After scoring just 65 against UNC Greensboro, the Hogs go for 88 against a really good defensive team in Oklahoma. Those guys couldn't guard them. And they didn't have to do it by shooting a bunch of three-pointers, only 4 of 12, but Arkansas was 21 of 24 around the rim, shots around the rim. They were nearly 60% on their field goals today, 19 assists to just 9 turnovers. That's going to win Arkansas a lot of basketball games if they can do that. And you think about it, Anthony Black had 5 of the 9 turnovers. Probably not going to see AB turn it over that many times moving forward. So, I've thought, even though they've struggled with this, in Europe and in the preseason, sometimes been a little inconsistent in the early goings, it feels like this could be a high assist team and a team that should be able to take care of the basketball because they've got some dynamic ball handlers. They've got some really good passers. If we talk about, guys like Mekhi, Mitchell, Jordan Walsh, these guys who are going to be playing the forward positions for Arkansas. So you'd think once they get a little bit more comfortable that they might be a lot more efficient on the offensive end. We'll see. It's one game, but it was certainly a step in the right direction. You know, defensively, listen, Oklahoma, they shot nearly 60% from the field themselves, but like I said, Arkansas weathered that storm early. They made some adjustment. They took the Grove brothers out of the game, both of them, which was a key part of it. Sherfield got off a little bit there, but he's a really talented player, but he didn't have much of a supporting cast tonight. I think that was important for Arkansas. They made a good adjustment going to switching the ball screens. They struggled with that a little bit in the first half, adjusted. It's something they haven't done much, but they look pretty good doing it in the second half today. And then they just said, you know what, we will allow some dribble penetration, but we're not going to allow Oklahoma to beat us from three. You know, they were 13 of 22 in this game last season, and Arkansas wasn't going to allow themselves to get beat that way this year, so they started running them off the three-point line, trusting that they could contest and challenge shots around the rim and then secure the defensive rebounds, and they did. So, you know, overall a 10-point victory. It's a quad one for Arkansas, so it's going to be good for the resume, but just the momentum and the confidence it should give this team from what they've had to battle through. We mentioned the adversity. Man, this team's been through it a little bit. If you think about some of the stuff that's gone on, they've been through it a little bit, but they continue to respond the right way. And I think what this shows you is the potential is still there, even if you're a man down, to have a really special season, because they're nowhere near their ceiling yet. There's still room for growth. It's still all coming together. You're 9-1, you're top 10 in the country. You got two really nice resume wins right now. You just got to close out these last two games of the fall semester the right way before getting into conference play. Obviously, that starts on Saturday. Arkansas is going to get 1 week here to kind of practice, work out some more kinks, figure out what they want to do and what the identity of this team is going to be now, because the makeup has changed. And you go down to North Little Rock, where things tend to get a little bit weird. We know what happened there last year. This is a pretty good Bradley team that's coming in for the Razorbacks to face. It's going to be a quad two opportunity for them in this game. They're going to have to be ready to play. They exercise some demons here in the BOK Center today. Are they going to be able to do that in Simmons Bank next week? I feel good about it. Hopefully you do too. You should certainly be happy about this Razorback win today. Impressive stuff from the Hogs. It's been Curtis Wilkerson. Like I said, it's been a hell of a lot more fun doing this time here in Tulsa than it was last time around. Enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. Appreciate you checking in as always. We'll be back to preview the Bradley game at some point in the middle of the week. Again, it's been Curtis Wilkerson with HawgSports.com. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you next time.